Who exactly did I just set up? If there's gonna be blowback, I don't want to be in the middle of it.
When you're in, you're in.
Hey guys, Kiwi here. In this video, I'll be breaking down and discussing 2 sneak peek promos for Season 5 Episode 3 of Better Call Saul. I've got some pretty juicy stuff to talk about in this video involving Nacho and Saul's arc for Season 5 and Crazy 8 as well, but it's arrived in a weird way. First off, the first sneak peek is technically the same sneak peek as the second teaser trailer that we ever got for Season 5, but now we have more context behind it. That being said, there's a lot more to discuss in this video than just that. Due to an error in the subtitling for the talked about scene for episode 502, it appears that they've actually uploaded the subtitles for the talked about scene for episode 503 before it's even aired. So with that being said, let's take a look at the dialogue for an unreleased scene for season 5 episode 3 where Saul is meeting up with Lalo. Now we've been speculating on a certain scene we keep seeing clips of from the trailers where we can see Nacho and Saul out in the desert together waiting for Lalo to arrive. Saul asks what he just set up and he doesn't want to get in the middle of it, but Nacho replies saying that when you're in, just like we heard in the promo trailer. So with that in mind, just imagine the scene taking place out there. I'll provide images from the trailers when I can, and let's jump into the dialogue. The dialogue starts with tires screeching, engine revving, tires screech again, and then the engine shuts off, and a door creaks. Someone says, "Oh, woohoo, you hear that? I replaced the carburetor. She's running like a racehorse, man." And then someone else replies, "It's a fine vehicle." And then, "It's a thing of beauty." Person 1 says, "Yeah, what do you drive?" And then person 2 says, "An Esteem?" What? A Suzuki Esteem. Now, we know that Jimmy drives a Suzuki Esteem, and this definitely sounds like Lalo meeting up with Jimmy, or rather Saul. This is most likely Lalo arriving in his car to meet Saul and Nacho, talking about his car. Sure seems like a thing that Lalo would say, talking about his car revving like a racehorse, and then either it's just Saul replying, or Nacho says the first response, followed by Saul continuing the conversation with Lalo about the car that he drives. During this back and forth, Lalo says, "So," as if he's waiting for Saul to update him on something. Saul says that it went just like you wanted, implying that this isn't the first time that he's meeting Lalo, probably their second meetup. Assuming the dead drops are the real thing, the feds are going to be on them. Feds? Yeah, DEA. There's a matched pair of them, and they're gunning for arrests. The heavy breathing implies that Jimmy's getting nervous telling this info to Lalo, and also if you guys know more about dead drops and how it relates to our story, let me know. I looked it up, and it's pretty much a way to pass information from one person to another without having to physically meet, usually used by agents, most commonly a USB stick stuck into some concrete. The next part is where things get really juicy. I assume they're talking about Crazy 8. "Oh, and your guy's now a confidential informant." "What do you mean, like a rat?" "No, he's not a rat, no." Now Saul's laughing it off, but actually he's trying to convince Lalo not to kill Crazy 8 over this. I mean, well, if he's a rat, he's your rat, so put it this way, you have a hotline to the DEA, and not just now, anytime, so that's a good thing, right? So Saul is telling Lalo that he can spin this in his advantage and use Crazy 8 as a double agent of sorts in order to extract information from the DEA or mislead them. He's trying to get Lalo to think that this is a good thing, not a bad thing. But the deal is, at some point, you may hear that Domingo is a snitch. You gotta know he's not. Saul's stuttering shows that he's getting nervous again. "And what do you care?" Lalo says, wondering why Saul cares if Crazy 8 lives or dies. "Well, all due respect, you're paying me, but he's my client. I'd like to keep him alive." So Saul gives him a financial reason as to why he wants to keep Crazy 8 alive, but the truth is he probably wants to because Nacho told him to. As we learned last episode, Nacho told Lalo that he's been friends with Crazy 8 for a really long time because their families are friends. Nacho's gonna try and use Saul to save Crazy 8 from getting a bullet in the back of his head, especially since Gus is forcing Nacho to try and gain Lalo's trust. He even suggested being the one to go and kill Crazy 8 in episode 502, but Lalo said he didn't have to do that. Back to the dialogue. "Oh, and one more thing, you're gonna have to find a new attorney for future endeavors because my schedule is just too tight." "You'll make time." "Ah." And I assume Lalo drives off. So Saul is trying to get out of working with them, but they're obviously not going to let him go so easily. Also, I wonder if Tuco will ever realize that Saul is the same person now working with Lalo. Hopefully Mike will find out a way to get Gus to help Saul get out of the situation somehow, but we'll have to see. I don't think Saul will ever talk to Gus directly because he still seems very scared of him, and like he can't even talk to him himself from Breaking Bad. Like he has to talk through Mike in order to get to Gus. So I feel like if Saul does get help from Gus's side, it'll be through Mike. After Lalo leaves, Saul asks Nacho who he just set up, and Nacho tells him that he doesn't even want to know. Saul says that if there's blowback, he doesn't want to be in the middle of it, but Nacho tells him that it's not about what he wants and that when he's in, he's in. Nacho knows this all too well, as he's currently stuck in the cartel business trying to get out of it to save his father. Apparently a car horn honks, which is probably Lalo telling Nacho to hurry the hell up as Nacho is still talking to Saul, and then Nacho's car door closes and they drive away as the scene ends. I feel like this is probably their second meetup out in the desert, and that the original Joyride sneak peek trailer is their first meetup. You can even see the subtitles of Lalo's car drifting into the meeting and roaring away, just like what we saw in the promo trailers. With Lalo's car driving in and out of the beginning and end of the scene, along with Saul and Nacho's dialogue literally matching up with what we've seen from previous trailers.
Who exactly did I just set up? If there's gonna be blowback, I don't want to be in the middle of it.
When you're in, you're in.
This is definitely the scene of Nacho and Saul waiting out in the desert for Lalo, and this is the scene that I thought we were going to get in episode 502, but it's all good. It's all good, man. I actually did that unintentionally. Anyways, Saul is picked up by Nacho at the end of episode 502, and this leads us to the first sneak peek of Saul in the car with them for 503, which was also the original season 5 Joyride trailer. For this repeat trailer, I assume it'll play at the beginning of the episode. We can see Nacho and his associate driving Saul presumably to meet Lalo for the first time, and we can see Saul being understandably very unsure of himself. Saul looks around and notices the locks for the back doors are broken out, and that the two in the front have a gun between them. They pull into some sort of junkyard or industrial location, and the sneak peek ends. This is where I assume Saul will hear Lalo's plan, meeting him for the first time, and then throughout the episode he'll go do what he says. And then later on he'll return to Lalo with Nacho for a second time, out in the desert where all this dialogue we just talked about takes place. Also, Crazy 8 is now officially an informant. This is the moment we've been waiting for, and not only did Crazy 8 get an origin story for his nickname, which is a nice little bonus, we get shown how he becomes a DEA informant for Hank and Gomez. That being said, this is probably also the reason why we'll see Hank and Gomez this season, because they're the ones taking care of Crazy 8 as an informant during Breaking Bad. If I recall correctly, Hank and Gomez actually kind of talked trash about Crazy 8 when he died in Breaking Bad, so it sounded like he wasn't a very good informant, so maybe Lalo will have Crazy 8 give them, misinformation, causing them to think he's not very useful. We were predicting that Crazy 8 becoming an informant would be the cause for Hank and Gomez to appear this season, and it seems like we were probably correct, as we're already seeing Crazy 8 become an informant. Apparently episode 503 is a really good one, and I don't know if that's just because maybe Hank and Gomez are appearing in it or not, but maybe we'll get to see them next episode, which will be their first ever time meeting Saul Goodman and their first ever time being on Better Call Saul. Also, big shout out to the viewer who actually tweeted the dialogue stuff at me, letting me know about the subtitles and everything, so props to you, you're the MVP of the week. And if you want to look up the incorrect subtitles for yourself, it's on the video titled Nacho Risks Everything, talked about seeing episode 502 Better Call Saul. It's where Nacho goes and jumps the roof, impressing Lalo by snatching up the drugs before the cops can bust in without getting caught. You just have to go to the settings on the video player for YouTube and turn on the subtitles for English if you don't already have them automatically turned on. Anyways, look out for my Gene video in the near future, and I'll also be breaking down and discussing all the remaining titles and synopsis for each episode of Season 5 in a future video, along with recapping and reviewing the first 2 episodes of Season 5 by the weekend as well. And also, did I just say that right? Synopsis? Synopses? Synopsises? What's the plural for synopsis? I don't know what's with me right now. I'd appreciate a like on the video if you've enjoyed anything I've said today, as I'm always thankful for you guys helping me appease the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe and hit that bell notification for more content on Better Call Saul in the near future. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out!
When you're in, you're in.